You're listening to the Wrestlebread podcast.
Cut the shit.
How many red carpets you guys want to walk in your $4,000 ridiculous heels? You will never be able to lace up my Chuck Taylor.
This is your fault. This is your fault.
I didn't get mad when you stole all my moves.
Your daddy's not here anymore.
How was your movie, by the way? I missed it.
Mine went straight to DVD, just like yours.
Careful you don't hurt your neck again going through those ropes.
What is going on, everyone? First of all, happy Thursday. My name is Jaydee, the first effing lady of the Wrestlebread podcast. And as you see, I am not alone. It is another week for premium live event this time. No AEW pay-per-view this week. And so as you see, I am not alone. I am here with some of the fam from the Fanatics, actually the two hosts of Outrage Control. You can be sure to check them out on Sunday as well. And I believe the watch along for SmackDowns is both of you guys, or is just you, Dango?
Just this week, it's just me. Kayla's taking this week off. Just going to be me and Dylan from Universal Wrestling Podcast.
You mean World Elite Podcast?
Yeah, World Elite. They're on right now, so.
But yes, so hope everyone is having a good time. If you're checking out the football game where the Bears is shutting out the Washington Commanders. Of course, the big talk of the NFL right now is Taylor Swift and all the damn Swifties and all the people who don't have no idea what is going on with football, but all of a sudden they are football fans. And then, of course, the Cowboys won this past weekend, but who cares? Because it is Red October. As you see, I am representing the Phillies. First of all, Eagles fans are a lot different from the Phillies fans. Phillies fans are a lot more, civilized. We just go crazy for the Phillies, but, we won't throw beers at you or anything like that. It's mainly that they throw hot dogs during
because Kayla's a Brave, so you got
yeah. Sorry, Kayla, but I'm hoping that the Phillies go all the way this year. That stadium, our stadium, is very tough to play in. Like, we sound like fucking Seattle Seahawk fans whenever they're in it, whenever any team is there. So I put into the lottery to hopefully buy tickets. I doubt I'll be able to buy tickets, but just the hope is there.
Oh, yeah.
I looked at tickets for the Phillies and the Braves game because I was just like, when I looked at the price, I was like, woo-wee.
Yeah, because I went to the wild card game when it was the one game, when it used to be the one game. I went that a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, those were pretty expensive when it was the one game, too.
Yeah. I know the tickets are going to be very expensive for the Phillies because they know that everyone's going to show up. Yep. So I remember, I think it was the World Series. Everyone was complaining because in Houston, the tickets were very cheap. But if you come to Philly for the World Series, the tickets were like $1,200 or something like that. It was just something. It was crazy.
That's stupid.
Yeah, it is. But it's an exciting week of all the sports. Got the football going, got baseball going as well. And we got wrestling this weekend. We got Fastlane. Even though it's very weird that we have Fastlane in October. Normally a Hell in a Cell or Extreme Rules with the neon lights or something like that. But this time we have Fastlane. Last week we had Wrestle Dream and No Mercy. And we're just rolling into another weekend of wrestling. But before I get started, just want to go around for everyone to introduce themselves. Kayla, how are you doing and where they can find you?
I'm doing all right today. You can find me, like she said, Sundays with Outrage Control with Dango at the bottom. Also find me at the Queen's Takeover at QT Bow Down, and I'm also at Ryder Chaos on social media. So plain and simple.
There you go. And Dango, how about you?
You can find me on Outrage Control. You can also find me and Kayla on a SmackDown watch along, and also you can find me on Wednesdays during the Dynamite review, which we took off this week.
There you go. Let me get into the comments, the chat for all the early people. What's going on, Marcus? Thank you so much for tuning in. And Nick, what's good, my peeps? Hashtag ring the bell. Yes. And just in time, because he is just in time. What's up, fam? Thank you so much for tuning in.
Mama in the house. That's my mama.
Oh, mama. What is going on? Good evening, y'all. Popping in to show my support. Thank you so much for tuning in, mama. Thank you so much. But let's get into some news and rumors. Of course, the latest news is that Jade has been officially signed to WWE. She's been all over social media. WWE is constantly talking about her on Raw and SmackDown. So, of course, definitely giving the vibe that she more likely will just hop right straight to the main roster versus staying into NXT for a little bit of time. But Tony Khan actually mentioned during the media scrum, I believe, where he talked a little bit about what happened with Jade Cargill trying to negotiate her contract. He said, I quote, I knew Jade's contract has been ticking down, and we were talking about a new contract, and I was very interested in Jade coming back, and we were having a negotiation. I made a big offer, and I thought it was a very fair offer. I think she was considering it. Then she asked for a bigger offer, and then I went up again, and I kind of thought that was going to do it. And then it didn't, which, to be honest, I was surprised because it came up to a number that was higher than her original ask. So it seems like she did what kind of similar to what you should do whenever you are becoming a free agent. Go to the highest bidder. More likely, she got an offer with AEW, went to WWE, got their offer, went back to AEW, got a bigger offer, and then WWE matched it and probably added some more incentives to it and everything. So props to her. I wish her all the best with her going to WWE. It's been rumored by PW Insider that she's expected to be on Monday Night Raw as far as the roster, and she's expected to maybe debut by the end of the month. She could be debuting. We could see her at Fastlane. Some people believe that we may see her in the crowd at the NXT on Tuesday, but who knows? What's going on, Graydon? Thank you so much for tuning in. We are doing good. And yes, that is the same thing that Matt Cardona had did, which is a smart thing to do. That's the great thing about having AEW existing is that you can play to the highest bidder, get more money than what you expected. It was what Randy Orton did. He threatened, you not really threatened, but he dropped a lot of damn hints about AEW and he got a bigger payout. I believe Kevin Owens did the same thing. I know that Cody kind of did it. He said it was a personal issue, but the money was money that was being discussed. Yeah, money was being discussed as well. And so yeah, that's pretty much what everyone's going to do, which is a great thing. That's why, it's great that we have AEW existing because now people can get paid definitely what they are worth. Speaking of that, we have a Tuesday Night War that is happening this Tuesday because Dynamite is being moved to Tuesday due to the MLB playoffs. And so they will be going head to head with NXT, just like the Wednesday Night Wars from long ago. And yeah, when that happened, Tony Khan mentioned that Adam Copeland will be debuting at his in-ring debut will happen at that Dynamite. And then WWE said, "Oh hell no. We're not going to just let it be." And they turned around and had a lot of damn added changes. People who probably would have never stepped foot into NXT if it wasn't for AEW. And some announcement too. What's going on, TK? Hey, fam. Hope you have a great show. Thank you so much for tuning in. But yeah, NXT mentioned that Asuka will be wrestling Roxanne Perez. Then they're gonna have Carmelo Hayes versus Braun Breaker, which was everyone mentioned was like one of the matches of the year. Is going to happen on Tuesday. And then, of course, Cody Rhodes is going to pop into NXT to make a major announcement. Whatever that may be, of course, very similar to kind of what Tony Khan does in AEW, where he has major announcements. But the most interesting thing is that Paul Heyman mentioned that he will be in the corner of Braun Breaker, and John motherfucking Cena is going to appear on Tuesday in the corner of Carmelo Hayes. For I didn't really watch NXT, so I don't know the reason that they gave as to it. But of course, this is all to get the views away from Dynamite. And then 24
I can
hours later.
explain it. I can explain it.
Okay,
I watched it. So on NXT, Carmelo and Braun had a backstage. He's like, "Hey, did Trick come and find you?" Braun was trying to get into the Carmelo's head about Trick winning the title. Eventually, Trick would end up losing in the end of the night, but still. But he's like, "Hey, was Trick waiting in Gorilla to give you a hug when you lost your title?" He's like, "No, he was out celebrating, wasn't he? You had to go find him, wasn't he?" He's like, "I'm telling you, man, watch your back, watch your back, watch your back." He's like, I'm the first one to know this. You gotta have a dark side. Trying to like push him to the dark side. And he's like, nope. He's like, no. He's like, think about it. And then Braun's like, okay. He's like, I talked to Michaels. You face me next week, and also I've seen in my corner. And then at the end of the show, Heyman made his announcement that Roman is graciously lending his wise man to Braun Breaker.
Wow.
Yes, the Roman Reigns watches NXT confirmed. What's going on, KGP? Rangers sweep. What's up, y'all? Yes, I didn't watch the Rangers game, but I did hear that they had swept. Yes, and NXT is stacked, of course.
I think Cody's announcement is the Dusty Rhodes Classic.
That would make sense. That would make sense, because people were thinking like, oh, he might announce that he's going to SmackDown. Which I was like, I don't think they're gonna use that portion at NXT for him to announce that he's going to SmackDown. But yeah, the Dusty Rhodes Classic definitely makes sense for him to announce that.
Honestly, you know how you get him to SmackDown? The simplest solution: him and Jay win the tag titles.
Yeah,
they legit. You legit can just move over. You can just move back.
Oh my gosh. Graydon said Cody Khan's announcement, either Jade or Dusty Rhodes Classic. That would be cool if he introduces Jade Cargill. Of course, but Mr. Adversity sitting here. But then Tony Khan responded 24 hours later with a stacked Dynamite. We're going to have Swerve going against Bryan Danielson, which I think is the first time they faced each other. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think it's the first time they faced each other. The rematch between Jon Moxley and Rey Fenix for the international title. We're going to have Jay White going against Hangman Adam Page. Powerhouse Hobbs going against Chris Jericho. Like I said, Adam Copeland's in-ring debut, and of course, it's Tony Khan's birthday on Tuesday. So yeah, of course, if you look on social media, a lot of tribalism going on between AEW and WWE. But I feel as though we should all just enjoy the fact that we're going to have a very good, pretty much like pay-per-view level type of matches going on a regular damn Tuesday. But Kayla, how do you feel about the Tuesday night wars that's going on?
Honestly, it's kind of crazy, but I mean, intrigued to see what happened on both ends. But people that know me, I'm really not into NXT, so I'll be probably one of the viewers watching Dynamite. So
Dango, what's your thoughts on what happened, the Tuesday Night Wars?
I think it's gonna be a good battle. I think it should be interesting to see how where fans watch. It'd be
Mhm.
interesting now that they're back against each other to see because the AEW has been losing to them if it hasn't been straight up head to head. So it should be interesting. So interesting to see how that goes. And honestly, that Braun Breaker and Carmelo should be good because that's basically a rematch from from Stand and Deliver in April.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which a lot of people mentioned was is a candidate for match of the year. So the fact that they sat there and just brought that out for a random Tuesday.
And I heard there's supposed to be like a special guest commentator for one match.
Oh my
Peop-
goodness.
Uh, and yes, they're gonna make Sam Punk debut on NXT to go against Tony Khan just to pop the ratings.
Yes, that is the rumor that people believe is going to happen, that CM Punk is going to appear on NXT to pump up the ratings as well. Just in time. So in the end, we're getting two fantastic shows, and that's all that really matters. Exactly. Uh, yeah, there's people. I mean, I find it. I would be very interested to see what the viewership will go to. I think it may go more towards NXT since it's John Cena there. Even people don't even watch NXT like that. We're more likely tune in just because John Cena's name is mentioned. Um, but I'll more likely will watch Dynamite live and just catch NXT later, or I may have, both shows up and then pay attention to whichever one, you know, is the best. I definitely am very interested to see Swerve versus Brian Danielson. Interested to see, of course, the rematch of Brian Breaker and Carmelo Hayes. Um, and then they're gonna have Asuka versus Roxanne Perez, which I think is pretty cool. Um, but it's weird. Then Dynamite has, I think it's Soraya versus Hikaru Shida, I think it is, on Dynamite as well. But like just in time said, in the end, it's two companies that's just really fighting for our viewership, you know. Uh on a random Tuesday where NXT just had their premium live event. They should be doing a fallout show of it. Instead, you would think the premium live event is happening on Tuesday. Dynamite stacking the card, doing dream matches and everything like that as well. But I say enjoy it all. It's great that we have two companies that are competing for viewership and everything, putting out their best stuff out there to pretty much entertain us. In my opinion, I think all of us should be sitting watching whether it's NXT, Dynamite, or even both shows. Like pretty much just eating popcorn and enjoying what's going on. Um, so getting into the topics, first off, we just had Wrestle Dream. I'm not going to go too deep into an overview match by match, but we had 14 matches on the card. I mean, Tony Khan loves to stack the matches. We had 4 matches on the pre-show with the 8-man mixed tag team match. We had Claudio Castagnoli defeating Josh Barnett, Luchasaurus defeating Nick Wayne. We also had the Acclaimed and Billy Gunn defeating TMDK. MJF had a very entertaining match, defeating Righteousness on the 2-on-1 handicap match with no assistance, which was very surprising. Eddie Kingston defeated Shibata to retain the Ring of Honor World Championship and Strong Openweight Championship as well. Chris Statlander defeated Julia Hart to retain her TBS Championship. The Young Bucks defeated the Lucha Bros, the Guns, and Orange Cassidy and Hook to become the number one contenders for the AEW Tag Team Championship. Swerve Strickland defeated Hangman Adam Page. We had Ricky Starks defeating Will Yuta. Bryan Danielson defeating Zack Sabre Jr. in a match that a lot of people are saying is match of the year or match of the night. We also had the Don Callis family defeating Chris Jericho and the Golden Elite with Sammy Guevara pinning Chris Jericho. We also had FTR defeating Aussie Open to retain their AEW Tag Team Championship, and Christian Cage defeating Darby Allin 2 falls to 1 in the 2 out of 3 falls to retain his TNT Championship. Of course, the end of the pay-per-view, we had the turn by Nick Wayne aligning himself with Christian Cage and Luchasaurus. We had Sting come out to try to save Darby Allin. And as soon as Christian Cage went to do the concerto, we had You Think You Know Him and Edge debuting to a crazy crowd, crazy pop for him, um, and come in to as if he was going to stand side by side with Christian, but instead took the chair, hit Nick Wayne with the chair, threw the chair at Luchasaurus, and stood tall to against um, Christian Cage and shook Sting's hand. First time that they ever been in the ring with each other. Um, we also had the media scrum where Edge then talked about the reason why he returned and everything, which we'll get more into. But overall, you should definitely check out our watch along that we did for Wrestle Dream and see all of our reactions to Edge debuting. Nice sing along that we did of the theme and everything like that as well. But overall, it was a very good pay per view. A lot of matches. Of course, there were some matches that could have been on Collision or on Dynamite, but overall, it was a great pay per view. Dango, what are your thoughts on Wrestle Dream?
I thought the Wrestle Dream was really, really good. I thought it was I thought both matches. I think it was overloaded, but I think that that Nick Wayne match, I think Nick Wayne turn was obvious when they kept showing his mom. I felt like it just was very obvious. You felt like something was going to happen. Either he was going to start making out with Christian was going to start making out with the mom, or like some weird storyline.
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah, you definitely felt something was going to happen.
Yeah. Then MJF retaining, that was really good. Good. I'm surprised he did that. I got some bad. Man, AEW had some terrible audio last night with that promo.
Yes, they did. It was a shame. Tony Khan did tweet about that, and then they did replay it with the where you can actually hear it. So I was like, okay, that's cool that you just didn't say deal with it and actually replayed it. Tony Khan pulling the strings, saying he requested an overrun of the time so that they can show the segment again. But yeah, the audio issues is just crazy sometimes with AEW.
Yeah, Warner Brothers has some terrible audio.
I
Warner
know.
Discovery. This is like pre-Peacock, started Peacock audio.
Oh, don't get started on Peacock. Kayla, what's your thoughts on Wrestle Dream?
I mean, I believed it was actually really good. I enjoyed it. Like, MJF, don't underestimate him. I knew he was going to come out with those tag titles. I knew he had something up his sleeve. More and more that I see her entrance, Julia Hart, I want that entrance and that character teamed up with Cross and Scarlett. I don't know why. I think that would just be, heck, even the whole House of Black would be a good faction and add Cross and Scarlett to it. Just the whole eerie darkness kind of thing. Obviously my girl Stat won. We knew she was going to. We didn't get the Edgeosaurus, but we did get the debut of Adam Copeland. You guys know him as Edge, which, for a win, was like, how's he going to, do it? And of course, he joined sides with Darby and, Sting. And honestly, it was a really good pay-per-view. I enjoyed it. And honestly, I think Darby might be living in a dream right now. Because, he's literally got 2 Hall of Famers, legendary icons as his partners, on his side. And And I still remember that day that he was in the ring looking across from the Hardy Boys when they're standing there like, wait, is this happening? Wait, huh? You know, I think he was in shock. And now the fact he's got Sting and Adam on his side makes it even more better. But hey, it was a really good show, and like we said, our watch along. If y'all haven't watched it, please watch it. We laugh, we joke, we cry. I watched the live version of it, the replay of the other day, and our reactions when Edge debuted was great. Like Jaydee was first, Dango was next, trying not to say nothing. It was me, and Tim was last. So it was just great because it was just like all our reactions were like literally like 5 seconds behind each other.
Yeah, it was staggered because that's how the streams go. Even with watching WWE with watching Peacock, it's
Mm-hmm.
like 5 different start times where we're at. So yeah, it was very fun. But yeah, the fact that Darby Allin is now working with Sting and Adam Copeland, and I think about Nick Wayne just turned
Mm-hmm.
18 and he is working with Christian Cage, Edge, and Sting, pretty much. And just the amount of experience that it was within that a 6-man tag like that is crazy. Let me get back into the comments. Just in Time said doing NXT first, then Dynamite the next day, but super pumped for both shows. Yeah, I mean, just watch both, whether that's NXT first, Dynamite first, and then catch the other one the next day, or watch them both at the same time. It's going to be very fun for both shows. And then Juan, what's going on this day? I see clearly. What up, fam? WVDC area love. Thank you so much for tuning in. And then Get Joe. What's good? Thank you so much for tuning in. Just in Time said between the 0 hour and the main card at the end, there was not a bad match that happened. Yeah, it wasn't no bad matches, just some matches that, could have went to Collision or Dynamite to kind of will not really give other matches more time. Because no match really felt rushed during Wrestle Dream. But just so that, you're not the pay-per-view isn't over like 12 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday. And what's going on, Melissa? Thank you so much for tuning in. But speaking of Adam Copeland, he did return and debuted. He mentioned, like I said, the first time he's in the ring with Sting. And he talked during the media scrum, mentioned that the reason why he came to AEW because first of all, he wants to be full-time. So he will be appearing every single week. He did not want to be part-time like he was in WWE. Felt as though he did everything that he could in WWE and he wanted to work with, people that he never worked with before. Even during the interview that he did, he mentioned Samoa Joe a couple of times during the media scrum. He mentioned Claudio Castagnoli, John Moxley, Adam Page, Kenny Omega. He wants to go promo for promo against Eddie Kingston. He mentioned working in New Japan, going against Okada as well. Yeah, he mentioned Okada. Just a lot of different people that he wants to work with that he never really got a chance to work with. He mentioned he also talked during Dynamite yesterday about how he really didn't know what to do, whether to retire or to keep going. And he asked his daughter, and his daughter said, "Won't you go have fun with Uncle Jay," which is Christian, which is Christian. And so that's when he decided to look into coming to AEW. But he just was so happy. I mean, you could see the look on his face when he came out during Wrestle Dream, but on Dynamite and even during the media scrum, he just seemed like so happy and rejuvenated. The fact that he's been, wrestling for 25 years and he feel as though that he is getting like a second start, like a reset almost. He's under Adam Copeland now. But a lot of things that he's able to do, a lot of dream matches that he's able to do and the freedom that he has, that he wasn't really able to do before. He also mentioned that he is willing to kind of take the place of CM Punk as far as being more and also being more of a leader, helping out. Maybe I think he said he will help out with creative from time to time, but his main thing is that he wants to share his knowledge with a lot of the younger talent. Mentioned that his phone is going to be open, if anybody has questions or anything like that, to come up to him and definitely ask. And of course, there were fans that were very disappointed out there, a small section of the fans, of course, that were disappointed that he went over to AEW, felt as though that he betrayed WWE. And because he's been with the company for 25 years, when he had to retire, they, had him kind of appear here and there, and they felt as though he betrayed WWE, which if for people who feel that way, I'm going to assume that you're not fans of NWO, because NWO is pretty much 3 former WWE wrestlers who went to WCW in the middle of the Monday Night Wars. And that whatever job you're at, you're going to stay there and retire from that job and not want to leave for a better pay or for better mental health or anything like that as well. But I'm happy for him as well. Kayla, what's your thoughts on Edge coming over to AEW as Tim King is enjoying the Bears game?
Yeah, I just saw the score, so no wonder. Because I was just curious, because when he said Bears, I was like, what's the score? So I want to go look, and I saw what it is. I said, yep, he's happy.
Yep, he is happy.
I mean, I'm happy for Edge. Like you said, all the people that he said, I mean, Kushika Okada. I mean, he's one of my all-time favorite New Japan. I'm definitely excited for that match.
Yes.
Hangman Adam Page is, I've known before, he's actually stated that he would actually love to have a match, with him. There is so much talent over there. And even if he's not in the ring all the time, he said he was going to show up. And that's another opportunity to work with the younger talent over there. Nick Wayne, Darby Allin. Might even see him working, with Sammy Guevara, any of the females over there. And someone made a comment and says eventually, I don't know what her contract was, but someone says they would love to see Beth Phoenix go over and work with the female division, and I know what's happening this Sunday. I'm probably going to hear one of my co-hosts on the Queens not be happy about it, but I'm happy for him. I really am happy for Adam. Like you said, we stated he's done everything he can in WWE. He wants to better himself. And when he came back the second time where he returned in the Rumble, what the thing he said, he wanted to come back and go out on his own terms. That necessarily did not mean he was going to stay at WWE and continue it there. So with this opportunity, I'm looking forward to it to see what he does next. Not necessarily go after the world title, but maybe, may eventually get that feud between him and Christian, take the TNT title away from Christian. There's so much he can do. Heck, for giggles, Sting and Christian, for the heck of it, go after the tag titles. Or Sting, Christian, and Darby go after the trio titles. And I think he's going to have some fun with it. And, learn different opportunities and get those dream matches he hasn't. So Adam being over there, I'm all for it. I'm happy. I'm excited for him. And this is a new start, new journey. Considering years ago, he never thought he could get back in that ring and wrestle. So, hey, I'm happy for it. And I'm excited to see what's next.
Yeah, definitely. Get Show said, he said, my bad, Adam, but he said Edge versus Sonata.
He's always going to be Edge.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to say Adam Copeland because, of course, there's Adam Cole's too close to saying Adam Cole. But yeah, Edge versus Sonata. I mean, a lot of people from New Japan he can go against. Him. He mentioned Will Ospreay as well. I mean, it's so many dream matches that he can do. But yeah, like you said, he pretty much did everything he could. I mean, what else is there for him to do in WWE? He had the title multiple times. They're not going to allow him to face any younger talent because of where he is. there's nothing really much else for him to do because WWE won't really allow him to go against certain people. Him and Swerve. I think, yeah, he mentioned Swerve as well. But yeah, there's talent that he would never got a chance to work with. Like I had to really think, because he mentioned John Moxley, he mentioned Samoa Joe, both who have been there while he was there as well, that he never got to work with, him and Claudio, that he
Technically,
never.
he did not because they all got fired during the pandemic, and he came back right before the
Oh, yeah, he
pandemic.
did come back right before the pandemic.
Then everyone got
Yep.
canned.
Yep,
Yeah.
you are correct. Yeah. But didn't Samoa Joe come
Samoa
back?
Joe was a weird. Samoa Joe went to NXT and then got fired.
Yeah.
He had
I
this
thought
weird
there was some
NXT
overlap.
GM run.
Yeah, I thought there was some overlap with Samoa Joe
I think
as well.
they crossed paths when Edge went to NXT for that one show. Right
They
before
did
the
because
pandemic.
because it was right there because it was that whole stare down between him and Cross and Edge in the parking lot, and then
Yeah.
shortly after that he got across Joe, and then that's when Joe took the title off of Cross. So yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, because during that media scrum, he mentioned Samoa Joe at least like 3 times. I was like, oh, you really wanted to work with him. I was like, I'm fine with that though.
Got a
I'm
death wish?
completely fine with that. Yeah. What's going on, Dylan? Thank
Dylan?
you so much for tuning in. But Dango, what is your thoughts on Adam Copeland debut?
I think it's great. I think like you guys made a point at, he did everything. He faced everyone in WWE at least once. He faced the Romans. He faced the Seths. He faced pretty much everyone from top to bottom. He faced AJ. He faced all the big names. Technically, yeah, he went through everyone. So everyone he wanted to, at least. So I guess he can go have some more fun over there. And I love to know he left for Beth before he came over.
Yeah.
Like
with the walk the dog.
Yeah, I gotta be right back. I gotta go walk the dog. You know it's her voice, right?
Yeah, I found that out. I didn't know whose voice it was. Because I was like, it definitely sounded a lot different than WWE. But yeah, I read that it's her voice, which I'm like, that's so sweet. Yeah. That's so sweet. Yeah, and he mentioned that he loves working with her. So don't know what her contract situation is, but for her to come over, and I hope Tony Khan definitely use her knowledge to help out that women's division, because that women's division is definitely missing a big veteran that can definitely really help them out and teach them the ropes. And I think
honestly, I think AEW will be a lot better for him because one, he works 1 day a week. He can still do the kid. He doesn't have to do. I know he wasn't really on the road for WWE because he wasn't really at live events, so he wasn't really full time. But it was just one of those things where it's just like the worst he'll work is 2 days a week.
Yeah. And the fact that he mentioned he wants to be full time. Normally, it's the opposite. People want to be part time and still get that pay, but he wants to be full time. He wants to be present.
He said WWE. He said something WWE wouldn't let him do that. I wonder if WWE doctors said you can only work part time. You know,
I wonder that too. Yeah, I wonder that too. If there's what's the reason why they wouldn't allow him go full time? I don't know if that's because he was on the Legends contract or something like that, or whatever his contract is. Like he's only allowed to do a certain amount of matches a year, like Brock Lesnar is.
Yeah, so that might be something like that. Because I know recently they re-signed. Today they announced they re-signed Hulk Hogan to his, so they don't lose Hulk Hogan to AEW.
They're not losing you twice. Yeah, I think that's probably what it is, because they did mention that when he faced Sheamus, that it was the last match on the contract. So I think he signed for a certain amount of matches.
I think that's probably how the Legends ones work. It's weird. I'm not sure how it. So I don't really know what, because that was a long media scrum. The media scrum alone was like 4 hours. Tony's just like sitting there talking.
he's having a great time. I don't blame Tony Khan when it comes to that.
He sits there drinking coffee. He's sitting there drinking coffee, and these fans are
I
probably
would
just
sit
like,
there.
"Oh my!" Because you watch the WWE one, the WWE ones are done in like Triple H gets it done in like hour and a half.
They don't
or an
play.
hour.
They don't play when it comes to that media scrum. It's almost like, okay, we already know who we're going to point to ask questions, and then that's it. Shut it down. 3 questions max. Whereas though AEW is like, okay, who has a question? The one that cracked me up was Christian Cage, because he was so in character that everyone was intimidated to ask him questions, because the questions they were asking was like very simple, and it was like things he answered them in one word, and they'll just stare at them, and it would just be like this awkward silence with everyone.
Yeah, it was kind of funny, especially
It was very funny.
I like the media scrum. I never watched any, but I watched the one when Stat returned at Double or Nothing, and she won the title. And all she said was she didn't feel like she deserved the reaction she did. And Tony Khan took like 30 minutes to explain to her why she deserved the reaction that she did. So that was just like, okay, screw Stat. I'm going to answer for her.
But yeah, and as far as like, there's such a big difference between WWE and AEW. I mean, look at Christian Cage. He would never be able to do this Father of the Year gimmick in WWE.
Oh no!
Sit there and tell someone your father is dead. You won't hear that in You won't hear that in WWE.
And they're really pushing it, especially this rated R era. Especially when he told Edge to basically say, "Go fuck yourself," basically.
I grabbed that clip of that. Of
Go fuck yourself.
I was damn near in tears when that went down. I mean, Chris Cage is so good. I don't blame Edge, especially if he does decide to turn heel, like Christian, join Christian Cage. The amount of like fun those two have as heels would be crazy. Me and the host was talking about it, just how big of a difference it is with WWE. A lot of things that you could do in AEW versus WWE. And I mentioned, I was like, WWE is like the Avengers, and AEW is like watching the Joker. Like both movies is something that you can watch, except for the Avengers is more like not really watered down, but definitely more comedy, more lighthearted and stuff like that. Whereas the AEW is like blood, chaos, and everything like that. So it is what it is. But I'm very happy. Like we all said, we're very happy for Adam Copeland and everything that he does, and the amount of legends. Like I always say, I love the way that AEW treats their legends, because they're more of mentors than just like taking spots from the younger talent. They're there to like uplift the talent. I mean, staying with Darby Allin. Now we're going to have Christian Cage and Nick Wayne, Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara as well. But the amount of experience that Darby Allin, Nick Wayne, hell, -1 too. -1 is backstage, and he is going to be soaking up all this knowledge from you, Sting and Adam Copeland, Christian Cage, Chris Jericho, all these people. By the time he turns fucking 18, it's going to be crazy. His in-ring talent should be like up to par, especially in Bryan Danielson as well too. But yeah,
and plus he hangs out with Cody all the time.
Exactly. And and now he's in WWE too, because he hangs out with Cody. So now he's getting the best of both worlds. He's getting the legend from AEW, and he's getting all the people from WWE. Especially, because his father had also wrestled for WWE. So it's going to be. I cannot wait for him to debut. I know we're like years away, but I cannot wait to see him wherever he ends up. But so happy for Adam Copeland. Speaking of WWE, we're going to get into the Fastlane predictions. I had to double check the match card, because I'm like, it's only 5 matches on here after watching 20 matches this past weekend on Wrestle Dream. But with this pay-per-view, it's only 5 matches as of right now. They could add another match on SmackDown. We'll see if they add a match coming in from SmackDown, but as of right now, it's just the 5 matches. So starting out, we have the LWO. Uh, Now they didn't really say which members of our LWO. I know it's Rey Mysterio and Santos Escobar, but I don't know if it's Joaquin Wild or Cruz del Toro that will be representing, going against Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits. Dango, who do you have winning here?
I have the you got to Soup Profits, but Soup Profits all the way. The only way I could see them winning is if the LWO is if Carlito debuts or something. Because Carlito's been under the thing for a while.
Yeah, that rumor was back, not too long after they went to Puerto Rico?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Wow. I completely forgot about Carlito. Okay. Kayla, what's your thoughts on this match?
I got Bobby Lashley and the Profits winning, unless the only way, I don't know, Montez and Dox does something to aggravate Bobby again, and he decides just to leave them to fend from themselves in the ring. But no, definitely Bobby and Profits got this. LWO, Profits and Bobby, they need the win, because yes, they got the win the other night, but they kind of lackluster a little bit, and I think it's aggravating Bobby. And we know how the Almighty can get when he gets angry. So,
yes, I'm also gonna go with the Suit Profits. I don't know. LWO wasn't as exciting as it was when they first started out. Everybody is waiting for Santos Escobar to turn on Rey Mysterio. Especially, we also have Dragon Lee that's been, kind of hanging around there as well. I mean, but I have the Suit Profits winning here. I mean, unfortunately, LWO is just mainly Rey Mysterio, Santo Escobar, and Zelina Vega. Nobody even knows the other two. I didn't even know that the other guy changed his name to Cruz del Toro. I thought he was I didn't even realize they changed his name. That goes to show. But yeah, we're going for the sweep here. All 3 of us going with Bobby Lashley and Street Profits to win. Next up for the
one of those guys is taking the pin.
Of course, whoever is between those two is the one that's definitely going to take the pin. Definitely. It kills me that we don't
Whoever
know
gets
which
the hurt
one
lock.
of them. Exactly. It kills me that we don't know which one of them is going to appear in the match, but it's one of them, and whoever it is taking the pin, of course.
poor guy.
Or the hurt lock, like you said. Next up for the Undisputed Tag Team Championship, we have the Judgment Day, Damian Priest and Finn Balor defending their titles against Jey Uso and Mr. Adversity, Cody Rhodes. I still do not understand why Cody Rhodes is putting his full trust into Jey Uso after everything he has done. But nevertheless, here they are trying to go after the Undisputed Tag Team Championships. Kayla, what's your thoughts on this match?
I mean, this is kind of hard for me because I'm a fan of Cody, I'm a fan of Finn, so it's just like, part of me is like, I don't really know who to choose, but I'm Judgment Day. Finn and Priest is retaining. I don't see them losing. Nothing against Cody. I mean, I don't think Cody needs a tag team. And Jey, he was literally champion for about almost 2 years. I think he needs a break. So he just, no. Finn and Damien's retaining, probably with a little help of Jaydee Madonna. Probably will help in there. Dom will probably help in there. We might see Rhea helping. So that would probably set up Sammy and Kevin probably helping Jey and Cody. So It'll be interesting to see who gets all involved in this match. So
Yeah, Dango, what's your thoughts?
I'm going with Judgment Day as well. I can totally see either Jay taking the pin, or I could see Cody taking the pin and being protected.
Ooh.
It's one of those things where I can see maybe a discombobulated, maybe a jealous KO and Sammy, or Jay, or a jealous KO.
Yeah, I guess definitely see KO getting into the middle of that.
And getting pissed off that why are them two getting a tag team title shot when they're not even a real tag team. I mean, I do like this Cody and Jay story because every time Cody tries to explain himself, someone interrupts him.
Mm-hmm.
So by the time he finishes the story, maybe we'll know. Because he just gets cut off every single week when he tries to explain why he brought Jey Uso.
He'll win the title. This is how it's going to happen. He's going to win the title at WrestleMania. He says, "Oh, and by the way, I brought Jey Uso over real quick before he gets."
Yes, because I think either someone's going to get pinned, and then this whole storyline is going to lead to 4-on-4 Judgment Day versus Cody, Jay, Kevin Owens, and Sami Zayn at Survivor Series in War Games. Because it's basically been confirmed that it is War Games. They're not going to go back. Is. Yes, it is. They're just going to keep it. Vince, that's one thing Vince decided not to get rid of. Because he's like, okay, that worked.
To announce if it's going to be a War Games Survivor Series or not. Because last year they actually named it Survivor Series War Games, but I guess they're going to just keep it as Survivor Series, and War Games will be within it.
Yeah, probably from now on. That would be my guess, and do something like that. And then for the women, you could probably do like, if they bring up NXT, especially because with the big pushes towards NXT, you can have Becky lead team NXT if anything, against the women of Raw and SmackDown.
Yeah, definitely. I am going to go with the Judgment Day here. I really do not see Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso winning the tag team titles. And of course, with, you know, like you guys said, with Jaydee, Dom and Rhea ringside, of course, pretty much what we saw with Dom regaining the North American Championship. We're going to see pretty much everyone and their mama getting involved for them to retain. Just like the good old bloodline was doing as well. But yeah, I don't see Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso getting the titles here. Be very interesting to see if we do see KO and Sammy appearing, especially KO. If I was KO, I'd be pissed off that Jey Uso comes out of nowhere and gets a title shot after quitting. And he gets rewarded a title shot out of this instead of getting the rematch as well, just because of Cody Rhodes. But yeah, we're all going with the Judgment Day to retain here. Next up, for the WWE Women's Championship, we got Io Sky defending in a triple threat match, going against Asuka and Charlotte Flair. This is the match I am afraid of. But Dango, what's your thoughts on this match?
This one's gonna be really good because I know why you're afraid of this match. You're afraid it's gonna go right back to Charlotte. It's one of those things where you have Charlotte pin someone. The only way I can see Asuka getting it or someone is if you had a debut Kairi Sane getting involved to help either Asuka win it from Io or Bayley getting jealous and Bayley, because you got to think Io's going to have damage control, helping her. You got to think, but at least Bayley, and Charlotte's going to have whoever Charlotte brings. I don't even know who will Charlotte bring.
Yeah, I don't know who Charlotte would bring either.
And then Asuka's just Asuka. Because Io's already going to be pissed at Bayley tomorrow night because she didn't know what Asuka was trying to say, and then she put her in a triple threat.
Out of nowhere, I know, without even asking Io what it is that Asuka has said. Kayla, what's your thoughts on this match?
I'm actually going to give you a two-sided one here. My heart's saying that Io is going to retain because I believe Io deserves to retain that title But my mind is saying that a certain queen is going to get it back just so you can get her closer to that title reign of her dad's. So, my prediction, like I said, I'm going with my heart. I've learned that the hard way not to. Dango. That's all I'm going to say. But anyway, I'm going with my heart, but my mind is kind of outraging that Charlotte's going to get it. But like I said, Io, it's got to be Io because she deserves a long title reign. Like Asuka's got it back several times and she's hasn't kept it very long. But I think Io deserves for, having probably one of the. I mean, all the female cash-ins has been great. The only one I didn't think was great was probably Carmella's because she had help. Everyone else is basically, cashed hers in the right way. But I believe, the whole Io cashing in, making history, doing that because all the females cash-ins have been successful,
Mhm.
And I find that a great history making moment. So, Io, definitely Io.
Yeah. Nick says Charlotte can bring me any night.
Oh, God.
Then says, what would be the point of taking it off of Sky? It's so that they can pad Charlotte's title reign so that she can beat her dad. And I don't know. Anytime I think there was a stat I forgot if I heard it from someone from the Fanatics or if I heard it from the TV, but Charlotte Flair has a very good win-loss record in trios in a triple threat match. I forgot how I know she's been in a number of it may have been from me watching something on YouTube. I think she's been in like 14 triple threat matches or something like that, and she pretty much won the majority of them. But yeah, it's WWE has this weird thing where whenever Charlotte comes in, does someone say titles? She comes in, insert herself into said feud, and to possibly win the title. I mean, the last time she was in the triple threat, that was the one where Asuka had won the title from there. So I'm hoping that Charlotte's just being added just to add Charlotte to a match. But my heart wants to say Io Sky. Does the triple threat do any favors for Sky? I mean, it's I guess for her to be put over Charlotte for something like this. What do you guys think?
Yeah, kind of. You have Charlotte take the pin for Io. I don't know. It's one of those things where do you wanna have Asuka take another one? It's one of those things where it's a tough situation.
Hmm.
It's like you really don't know. It could be a flip of a coin. It's not even a flip of a coin. It's like because it can go three ways, so you don't even know. Either any one of these three could win this match. That's the part that it's scary.
Mm-hmm.
So you really don't know.
Yeah, because this could be of Io losing the title without being pinned. That's usually why they do these triple threat matches so that the champion doesn't get pinned. And then, you start either a rematch with them or a different type of feud where Charlotte can win the title by pinning Asuka, which she has defeated before, of course, and have Io lose her title without without getting pinned. But then if you want to save the feud between Asuka and Io, you put in Charlotte so that Charlotte takes the pin. Um, like Nick is saying, the queen takes the pin. Where's the Booker T clip? I don't have the Booker T clip. But yeah, you can insert Charlotte in there so that she takes the pin, and then you kind of save the feud between Io Sky and Asuka, whether that goes on to Survivor Series as a title match or War Games or something like that, or for this to lead into Royal Rumble, who knows? But as far as with me, my heart is saying Io Sky. My mind is thinking it may be Charlotte Flair but Charlotte Flair winning the title.
Dang it, Bobby, that's exactly what we don't want.
Right.
I know that WWE would love for her to beat her dad's record. I'm sure she would want to beat her dad's record, but I don't want it to happen at the expense of Io Sky. But I'm going to officially go with Io on here. Next up, we have the World Heavyweight Championship. Seth Rollins going against Shinsuke Nakamura in a last man standing match. I've been enjoying this feud, especially these promos from Shinsuke Nakamura. Really been doing it up with him, especially that his entrances and everything like that. For this match, though, my heart wants this to go to Shinsuke Nakamura because it's been so fantastic with his entrances and these vignettes, and having him exposing that Seth Rollins' back has been an issue for the longest of time. The secret that he knows that no one else knows, but Seth Rollins is on such a hot streak. He is so popular. It's like, does WWE want to take the title off of him and kind of give him, that little bit of time off before we go back into the WrestleMania season? My heart is saying Shinsuke, but my mind is saying Seth. So I'm going to officially say Seth, but I will not be upset if it does go to Shinsuke Nakamura. Dango, what's your thoughts on this?
I'm also going Seth Rollins because I do not see Shinsuke, because I think this is eventually setting up Seth versus Roman title at Survivor Series, that we're going to get the final. Seth's going to go into his ear because Seth's been talking that crap about Roman since his match, because technically he has a Roman for it. Not title for title, as in one of those champion
versus champion.
Yeah, if they go back to Survivor Series rules.
2019.
Yeah, something like that. They go back to those type rules. So
that'll be interesting. I didn't even think of that. A champion versus champion.
I just hope they don't add Dragunov to that too, because it would be Seth
Oh.
versus Roman versus Dragunov.
That'll be unfair.
That would be one hell of a match, though, for real.
It would be. It would be.
No, Roman and Seth be going, who is this guy? Who is this guy? You get in there. I ain't getting in there. You get in there. No, you go. We're not even a tag team. I don't care. You take the pin.
Wow. So I completely forgot about that, because with that thinking, the title could go to Charlotte, so it could be Charlotte versus Rhea at Survivor Series instead of Io versus Rhea. I don't like that idea, but
they could change hands. Remember, we have one more before Survivor. We got the Saudi.
Oh yeah, that's right.
We have a Saudi slingshot right in the middle.
Yeah, so they could do what they did with Trick Williams. Charlotte wins the title and then lose the title right afterwards to give it back to Io Sky or something like that. Who knows? Kayla, what's your thoughts on the World Heavyweight Championship match?
I'm actually basically what you said, Jaydee. Like, your heart says Shinsuke Nakamura. You wouldn't be totally upset if he got the title, because I still feel like he never got that momentum. He won that Royal Rumble and never really got that moment, and he deserves it. Yes, he's been, intercontinental. Right? No, what has he been? He's had the mid card titles and between, and even tag team. So I feel like he deserves to be on top. I wouldn't be upset if he won against Seth, because his promos, his clips, his entrances, everything. I really liked on Monday Night Raw when he did the 1, 2, showed Seth, hey, I can beat you to the count of 10, giving him the, so it's all been epic. But this is one I'm going with my mind. Seth's going to retain because I don't see him giving up just quite yet. So, because like you said, he's been on a hot streak. And besides, I think he enjoys being serenaded every week by the fans. So,
of course. Yeah, but Shinsuke's been U.S. champ, IC champ, and SmackDown tag team champ with Cesaro. Yeah, I forgot that he won the tag team with Cesaro. But yeah, no major titles outside of NXT. Nick says, "What's next for Shem when he loses? That's the real question." Yeah, that's what, and that's what I'm like slightly afraid of with Shinsuke losing this feud. Um, that he really hasn't gotten the momentum, and I feel like he's getting momentum with this feud against Seth Rollins. But what do you guys think is would be next for Shen if he does lose this match and ultimately this feud?
Ooh, I could see maybe an IC run, maybe go after Gunther, maybe another a face turn or something. I'm not totally sure. It's one of those things where he goes up in the air, is you don't really know what he's gonna do next. You really don't.
Yeah, you don't. I mean, it would be cool if he eventually goes after one of the mid card titles. But I was excited because they presented something very different from him for him. To kind of elevate his status to, as far as going after the title against Seth Rollins with the vignettes, him speaking in Japanese with the subtitles and everything like that, and then having the crazy ass entrance that he had at what was the last one? What was the last big review? SummerSlam.
No,
Was it
payback.
SummerSlam?
Payback.
Payback. Yeah. Payback. Jaydee, check your video library.
Uh-oh.
Okay. This is the clip that he was talking about.
Tell me he didn't just say that.
There's the clip. I'll save that. Add that to my clip library. But yeah, they definitely was giving him a different type of presentation. So I'm hoping that what's next for him if he does lose this feud, that he goes after one of the titles, or he kind of like definitely goes after one of the mid card titles, or hopefully gets put into another hot feud. But we shall see from there. But I think this will be. I feels like this will be the match of the night, with Seth Rollins and Shinsuke Nakamura going after each other in the last man standing match. And then finally, which will definitely be the main event, we have the Bloodline, Solo Sikoa, and Jimmy Uso going against LA Knight and John Cena.
John Cena!
Oh my god.
I cracked out when I saw that clip. Yeah. Teaming up to go against the Bloodline. I mean, I am sure that we all know who's going to win this match, but we'll still go around to give your thoughts. Kayla, what's your thoughts on this match?
Well, I'm glad that he's got a partner. Because it just there for a minute, it was just like, because therefore, like we said, they had us intrigued, like John Cena's really gonna go up against Solo and Jimmy by himself, and but like they stated when they took AJ out, it was supposed to be LA Knight, but he got sick, so obviously we could have probably put two and two together that it was going to be him. And I can say lately, I don't know what it is, but LA Knight's grown on me. And in fact, he's teaming up with John Cena, one of the, him, was one of the three that basically got me into wrestling. So the fact that he's back working with LA Knight in the ring with Jimmy and Solo was great. So if LA Knight goes down, John Cena goes down, LA Knight's going down with them. So it's not like a Trudeau beat down. But yeah, as high as he's been up on the exposure now, everyone's pushing him. I believe that John Cena and LA Knight's going to get the win over this. Only for Jimmy and Solo probably won't get pinned. I think it's going to be Jimmy. And it's only going to anger the tribal chief a little bit more and go on a rampage.
He returns next Friday.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be, I told you, no. I don't want to bloodline. I don't want to be no. It's going to just turn crazy. So, yeah, it's going to be, you think bloodline, whatever's left of the bloodline now, you think it's chaotic and torn apart. It's only going to get worse from here. And like I said, this has been a storyline going on for almost 4 years, and it keeps changing and throwing curves and swerves at you every moment. So, yeah, Jimmy, LA Knight and John Cena is going to win. Jimmy's going to take the pin, only to anger the tribal chief a little bit more because he's just. What? What's Nick want me to do? Oh my! No, Nick, I'm not.
I think that noise you made.
I was just like a little imitation. You know how Roman comes in, he gets on that rampage and just there we go. Yeah, you're welcome, Nick. You're welcome.
I think WWE is going to back themselves in the corner with this match. I think they're building themselves into a corner, which I think, I got to say, I'm also going with LA Knight because I think it will be LA Knight and Cena. And I think LA Knight pins Jimmy, basically setting up either LA Knight or maybe AJ Styles returning as Roman's next opponent for Saudi. So they're going to back themselves into the corner with Roman versus LA Knight at Saudi because that means you're going to piss off a whole bunch of fans again.
Oh, well.
As you know, he's not losing it in Saudi Arabia.
Not to LA Knight either.
No, not to LA Knight, unfortunately. But yeah, it's gonna piss off a whole group of fans.
That's one of those things where you built them up to feed them to Roman. It's like the little fat kids, and then you feed them to Roman.
So Roman's the chocolate cake, huh?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
like the witch
everyone. Go ahead.
Hansel and Gretel.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much until even who knows if Cody will be the one that'll finish the story, but pretty much everyone between now and WrestleMania that goes against Roman Reigns is going to be pretty much
Not a chance. Not this time. It never happened. It never happened. We made this one up. It's fiction.
Yeah, not going to win at all, unfortunately. It is what it is. Like Heyman said, they're only in the third inning. And it's only been 4 years, and according to Heyman, we're only in the third inning. So
I mean, Cody said we're not in the third inning no more. So I don't know what inning we're in.
I don't know what inning we're in either, because Cody's like, we're not in the third inning. Well, I'm like, well, you didn't finish the story, so you thought you was finishing the story at last Mania, and it didn't happen. So I'm not trusting your word.
Inning, that's in baseball. Can you imagine a baseball game lasting for almost 4 years?
Before this pitch count, I mean, I rarely went to baseball games because they lasted like a good 5 hours. In my head, they were going too long.
We went to a Braves game one time, and my at the time stepdad, we went to go game, and my mom was just joking. She just says, "We're going to go into the 19th inning of this game." She was just kidding. Next thing you know, when we left, they went into the 19th inning.
Oh my god!
And still lost. I was just like, what the heck? But yeah, she was just kidding. Just said the 19th inning and ended up going into 19 innings.
I think I remember that game.
Oh my gosh! Tell your mom to post the lottery numbers.
I know, right?
Nick said Cena versus LA Knight, book it. They lose in order to start that feud. Oh my gosh.
That's an interesting idea.
Yeah.
That would be an interesting idea. It depends on how much time Cena has before he returns back to Hollywood.
Now that the strike is over, you don't know how long.
Yeah. Yep. Now that the strike is over, probably can kiss The Rock appearing at WrestleMania goodbye, possibly. I mean, even though he may be appearing at Elimination Chamber, but even that might be in the air depending on what it is he's going to be doing.
So you never know.
Yeah, never know. But overall, it is a bit of a solid card between these 5 matches. I feel as though match of the night would go to Seth Rollins versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Guess you didn't watch my prediction.
I'll watch it after.
Yeah. I don't really watch other people's predictions. I don't want to for it to skew mine. So I normally check out everyone's predictions afterwards. Because people will mention something. I'm like, oh, I didn't even think of that. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, bingo. I'm not going to let you down. That day that I was going to go with my heart for that match, and you told me, no, they're going to lose. You need to go with your mind. And guess what? I lost my title because of you.
And plus, you two go against each other for the women's title.
I wonder what they're going to do if we end up with the same thing. That's going to be great.
Yeah, I mean, if I should have went with my mind, but my predictions would have been the same as Graydon.
Yeah, it's kind of hard, really. I mean, so I guess we'll just see.
Are you talking about this clip, Nick?
Tell me he didn't just say that.
Are you talking about that one?
Nick, you still want?
He said play the clip. I'm guessing that's the clip you want me to play for that one. But yeah, so yeah, I don't really watch everyone else's predictions before mine, so that no one's prediction skews mine. So because I'm sure there's someone out there. Okay, he said yeah. Because I'm sure there's someone out there that made a very good 5-page essay as to why Asuka will win the title at Fastlane. So I'm sure that exists out there.
Or a 20-page letter why to Triple H why Charlotte Flair shouldn't regain the title.
Exactly. So yeah. But I will be checking out everyone's predictions afterwards. And if you haven't checked out the Universal Wrestling Podcast predictions, be sure to check it out as well. But final thoughts on this for Fastlane, the match card, or what you think would be match of the night?
Ooh. I could totally see it being the last man standing. It's gonna be last man. I can totally see it being in that match.
Yeah, match of the night. So definitely gonna be Rollins and Nakamura, especially what it's been building up to with the promos and everything. So if it's not, I'd be surprised.
Yeah, I think the crowd would definitely be hype for the John Cena LA Knight match. Of course, I forgot where this pay-per-view is at.
It's Indianapolis.
Okay. Yes, I know a Survivor Series is in Chicago, of course, because that's where everyone is assuming CM Punk is going to debut.
Better there than the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah, you're right, Kayla. At least rather him just get it over.
Just go ahead and debut, get it over with.
Yes.
I only want to see him in the Rumble.
You probably will if he does.
No.
He probably will be in the Rumble. That's going to screw up. That'll screw up every. Oh my gosh, that'll screw up everything.
Imagine, hey Kayla, imagine you get MJF at that one.
Oh my gosh.
I would max out if MJF joined at the. For some reason, it wouldn't be his music, but let's just say
no, he can.
It could. It is. It's royalty free. Yeah, you can find it
Oh,
on
okay.
YouTube Audio
So
Library.
let's just say MJF music hit at the Royal Rumble. I would probably not be able to do streams for a week because I'd be smart. I'd be like, "Oh my god!" I would care that he won the Royal Rumble, just in the Royal Rumble,
Oh
just
my
hearing his
gosh.
music. Oh,
That would be crazy.
mm-hmm.
Like I hope he does go to WWE because I really want to see what he's going to be like in WWE. Like, what are they going to have him do?
I want to see a clean version of MJF promo going up against The Miz. That's going to be.
It's going to be like a mirror, like the mirror Spider-Man meme. Just, point at each other, basically. A clean MJF. Oh my goodness.
They might be sitting there doing this to each other. Are you?
He'd be like, "You want to do a tag team?" He's gonna look at him like, "Do you want to work together?" And
did we just become best friends? It's gonna be.
Look at us. Hey, look at us. Look at us. Huh? Who would have thought? Not me.
It's pretty much how that's gonna go down.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
It'd be awesome. I'm better than you, baby. And it'll be just going back and forth, back and forth.
Or he's like, "I'm better than you. I'm awesome.
I'm awesome.
And I'm better than you, but I'm awesome." Oh my gosh. For the WWE Insider, please credit us for that idea. But oh my gosh, CM Punk in the Rumble will kind of screw things up because everybody will want CM Punk to win. But WWE is, well, I highly doubt they're going to put Cody through that again for him to win the Rumble. But anyone else whoever WWE chooses to win that's not CM Punk.
Honestly, I could see it being I could see it being Punk, especially if you're setting up Seth Rollins versus Punk, because Seth's been the one that they've been targeting the most. Because on that promo Monday, the Michael Cole one, he called him a puppet. He called him a control freak. He basically said everything what Punk was. He said he called you honor. He's like, you fought with honor, even the honor. Like the teases are showing up now, and it's not. That's the scary part.
It is scary because I'm like that's going to be very interesting. That CM Punk is willing to work with the guy who fired him on his wedding day.
Honestly, I think I think deep down, I think he's like, okay. He's like, this is UFC running it. He's like, how much pull does? I think he must have had a great conversation with Triple H backstage that day he came over.
Yeah, that he came over. Yeah. Something went down when he appeared there because I'm like, it's very random for him to just show up.
And then he went back to AEW. Didn't even last 6 months. It's like he told him, "Oh, go destroy it from the inside."
I'll be your mole. Just give me a title shot. But yeah, that's going to be very crazy of CM Punk coming in back to WWE, and interested to see how that's going to play out. Because you will hope there won't be any drama this time around. So
I don't know. I think from what he's learned from that side of the green grass, I think he realized maybe he can't really control. He should not have his own creative freedom.
Yeah, that's true. Like he shouldn't really have that much free reign because we saw what happened when he had that much free reign. But yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see how they're going to do it this time around with him. Yeah, and I guess it'll be more likely they'll put him with Seth Rollins because that's what they did with Cody Rhodes. Just put him. Seth Rollins is the debut person to put people in feuds with who are coming to WWE with Sting.
Yeah, you're right because basically he's been talking the most shit for the last. He's been talking shit against him since freaking WWE backstage.
Yep. Seriously. So yeah, I can see CM Punk come in and stuff being the first feud. Yep. That's going to be very interesting. And then seeing CM Punk in WWE 6 months later of what that's going to look like. I'm sure all the insiders are going to try to get as much information as they can if he does go there.
Mm-hmm. Should be fun for you for Philadelphia and WrestleMania.
Yeah, right? Oh my gosh. CM Punk, Jade Cargill, possibly MJF at this point. Ricky Starks. I mean, the rumor is that WWE wants to go after the people who are being released from their contracts. Oh, Nick, you don't gotta apologize for blowing up the chat. Blow up the chat. Blow it up.
You can have
Thank
you can have Will Ospreay for freaking Mania. Ospreay's up at January 1st, and you know Ospreay's gonna get thrown a ton of money.
Oh yeah. Everybody's gonna be a ton of money. Because the rumor is they definitely want to go after MJF, they want to go after Ricky Starks, and I forgot who else they said. I think Wardlow too. They want to go after. But yeah, 2024 in WWE is going to be very interesting.
I think we're going to see No, but the thing is, the WWE side is even crazier of contracts because you got McIntyre, Seth, and Becky.
They're not letting Seth and Becky go. Drew, they'll probably let him go. We'll see. Depends on what it is that he wants. But yeah, Seth and Becky, they're gonna throw encyclopedias to them, as much money as they're willing to pay.
And has he been teasing Shattered Dreams? It seems I've seen a lot of Shattered Dreams on Twitter about him bringing back if he goes heel. That's a terrible heel song because everyone's just gonna sing.
Oh, the Broken Dreams.
Oh yeah, the Broken Dreams. If he brings back,
no, everybody's going to be singing along with it. It's just like it's the Shinsuke factor when he went heel at first and the people were still singing his song. They had to change his theme up so people could stop singing it.
Because he's got to change it once he can't come back. He can't use the sword anymore. He can't come out using the sword.
Yeah, he has to dress in all black and everything like that. So we shall see what it will look like in 2024 in WWE and in AEW. The amount of trades that's what everybody's been saying. It's pretty much been a trade. Jade Cargill for Adam Copeland.
It might end up being at Jade and CM Punk for Adam Copeland.
Yeah. We shall see. But that's it for the Wrestlebread podcast. I want to thank Kayla and Dango for joining me. Thank you to everyone that has been in the chat and has been watching, whether you're watching this live on a replay. But thank you so much for tuning in. Like I said, if you don't know what the Fanatics Network is, it is a bunch of podcasters and writers who are passionate about what they do, whether it is sports, fantasy sports, movies, entertainment, gaming as well. Be sure to check Senor Stinky. Thank you for coming in. We're at the end of the podcast, but you can watch the replay, of course. But thank you so much for joining in, for tuning in as well. But you can go to our website, thefanent.com. You check out all the amazing articles and podcast episodes on there. Like I always say, check out all the podcasts, see which ones you really enjoy. Follow the podcast, follow the podcasters as well. My name is Jaydee, the first F and lady of the Wrestlebread podcast. You can catch me at JDC137. You can also catch the podcast as well at Wrestlebread as well. You can click the links in the bios for all the social medias. And going to go with my guests as well as to where you can find them once again. Kayla, we're going to start with you. Where can they find you?
You can find me at Ryder Chaos on Twitter and Instagram. You can also find me Fridays at the Watch Along with Dango down below. Also Sundays at Outrage Control. You can also follow that page at Outrage Control on Twitter and Instagram. You can also find me as a Carolina's Boss Lady at Queen's Takeover Podcast, and you can also follow that there at QT Bow Down. And also on the fanent.com, you can find my writing as well.
All right, Dango, where can they find you?
You can find me at SwaggerBomb92 or at the Bump Boys, or you can also find me on Fridays on the SmackDown Watch Along and also on Sundays for the Outrage Control podcast show, and also on Wednesdays for the AEW Dynamite review / watch along.
Oh yeah, that too.
Way too much stuff.
Yeah, no, it's just like I don't remember half the stuff. It's like whatever. Just go to the fanement.com and you'll find us all. There we go.
There you go. Be sure to follow the Fanatics Network, the Fan ENT, on all the social medias as well. A lot of great shows out there, like they said, Outrage Control. You can also find the Universal Wrestling Podcast. You can find a director's cut if you're a fan of movies and TV shows. Graydon had recently talked about the Expendables. He also talked about Saw. He's talking about the Saw as well, so be sure to check that out. If you're a Saints fan, you can check out the Dome Field Advantage podcast with Dylan. Even if you're not Saints fan, you can go check him out as well. If you are into fantasy football, check out Rotor Slappers for all the latest information about who you should start, who you should not start, who, if you want information on whether you should take a trade or not, who you should start, what quarterback you should start over who. Be sure to check out Roto Slappers. Also check out Cage My IQ as well. And like I said, yours truly, Wrestlebread podcast every Thursday at 9 p.m. EST. But yes, check out the Fan ENT. We also are going to have a watch along hosted by yours truly for the Fastlane this Saturday at 8 p.m. EST as well. So, if you are excited to watch Fastlane, if you're not excited for whatever reason to watch Fastlane, be sure to tune in. We always have a great time with the watch alongs. Definitely tend to go on tangents. We talked football at one point during Wrestle Dream. You'll see us laugh, make jokes, angry at certain points, but we always have a great time. If you make sure you can check out our other watch alongs or previous watch alongs for No Mercy and Wrestle Dream as well. But thank you to, once again, the Kayla and Dango for joining me. And thank you to everyone for watching and commenting and everything like that. And until next time, guys, peace.